Hi there, I'm Richard Knowles from Element Finance. We're talking about our 6 pillars of property development. Hopefully if you're watching this video or reading this particular blog, you'll have seen the other few videos that we've done. One setting the scene for the 6 pillars of property development, pillar number 1, which is around opportunity, and then we've also done a video on pillar number 2, which is the appraisal of the opportunity. Today's pillar number 3, which is around purchasing and planning. We'll then have a couple of further videos, which pillar number 4 is finance, our favourite topic, incidentally. Pillar number 5 is around the construction, and pillar number 6 is around the exit. So there'll be a few more videos and a few more blogs to go after this one. But without any further ado, we'll get straight into it today. So we're talking about purchasing and planning. So just those two areas really. So let's talk about the purchase first. So you've already, you've been through and found your opportunity that you're happy with. You've now done your high level appraisal, which includes your sort of financial assessment of it, and you're quite happy with it. So now armed with your appraisal, it's approaching how are you going to buy this site. There's a few different options. If it's obviously just an open market site and the vendor's got a price tag attached to it, as long as you've done your appraisal now and the numbers make sense, you can go ahead, make an offer and purchase the site. If it's a little bit tight, there's nothing wrong with going open book. It's become quite common for developers, particularly if they think the landowner is asking for too much money. They'll sit down and go through their appraisal with them and say, look, this is where we get to. This is, we're taking risk. There's a market risk as well. This is what the land is worth. So it's about negotiation now, really, and about working with the landowner to come up with a sensible deal that suits both parties. So again, we're talking very generally here. It could be straightforward purchase. You might decide to go open book. You might decide to make an offer or a series of offers. You may well go in and want to almost partner with them and say, look, this is what we're looking to do. We'll make you an offer and we'll pay you an uplift if we get more than this gross development value. In the time that we're developing this project, let's just say the market rises. It's not looking like it at the moment at the time we're shooting this video anyway. But, things change. I'm not going to mention the B word, but, once all that stuff's done, the market could be rising. And if you're in a rising market, you might well want to say to them, look, this is the GDV as we see it. If it goes up dramatically, if you agree to sell me the land for X price, if I get more at the end of it, I'm more than happy to split the uplift in the gross development value with you. It's a good compromise, and that works in certain circumstances. The other thing is to do it on either an option agreement subject to planning. So if it doesn't have planning on the site, and you're taking a bit of a planning risk rather than buying it speculatively and then you not being able to get planning, although I would certainly recommend that you've had a very good steer and you'd be pretty confident that you'd be able to get planning on some land that you're buying without planning consent. But you could do an agreement that basically says, I agree to purchase this land for X price, subject to me getting the planning, and then the risk is on you to pay the money to go through the planning process. So that's the purchase. We'll then get onto the planning. Again, this is very, very broad brush. This isn't designed to be an exhaustive everything about planning in a 6-minute video, or if you're reading this a blog. So it's meant to just be a few general tips. So the process in very simplistic terms for planning, you've got a pre-application. You don't have to make a pre-app, but there's a pre-application. There's then a full application. There will then be a consultation period. There'll then be a decision, yes, no, yes with conditions, and then you'll have the right to appeal. Very simplistically, that's the planning. A pre-app is always a good thing. A pre-app is worth doing if you just want a really good steer before you spend lots of money on lots of in-depth plans and planning consultants and the like. You can submit a pre-app. It'll give you a bit of a steer on whether it's likely to be supported or not. It doesn't cost the earth to do it, and actually it's in a lot of instances it's very worthwhile doing. Our tip in planning is don't skimp. Engage with a good architect, and actually depending on the site, planning consultants are worth their weight in gold. They know their way around the local planning. They know what projects they've been involved with before. They'll give you a really good steer. I know on paper, particularly if this is your first development, they can look like very expensive additions to a project, but trust me, I think if you try and do it without the right professionals' help, you're asking for trouble basically. So don't skimp is the tip there, really. It's a very long-winded way of saying that. So just to recap then, purchase, planning, you can do a pre-app. The process is that for planning if you need to go through it. You may have already bought a site that came with planning, in which case that makes life a little bit more straightforward at this stage. So that was pillar number 3 of our 6 pillars of property development. We have 3 more to go, so hopefully you'll tune in for the next 3 videos, or again, if you're reading this, the next 3 blogs. Been Richard Knowles from Element Finance. Goodbye for now.